This is the book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 11, and it reads, And the angel of the Lord Yahweh said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord Yahweh hath heard thy affliction. All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash, Yahweh, being the name of the Father, who the world envy calls God, Yahweh, meaning he exists, he is to be. Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahushai, who the world envy calls Jesus Christ. Yahushai, meaning he is the deliverer, he saves. Bahashem, in the name, Rakaha Kodash, Spirit Holy. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach one and who will taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives to at the four corners of the earth. To the Akwathiam listening and learning, in sincerity, and the truth and the silence, Shalom. Akyam meaning brothers, Akwathiam meaning sisters, Shalom meaning peace be unto you. It's your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp here in Toronto with another lesson. We'll get right into it. Right? And we're going to talk about Ishmael. Right? I'm just going to pull a couple of precepts. But he's returning to his nature. Well, he hasn't really left his nature. But his nature is about to go on steroids, man. Right? He's a wild man. Right? And by now the footage is out from yesterday. And a lot of things went down. A lot of footage came out. A lot of footage has gone viral. As you can see, some of it right here. Some of it more graphic than others. But he's about to display his nature on steroids. Genesis 16. By now it's common knowledge of as to what's going on. You know, I'm gonna watch some of the algorithms because it's sensitive when you start talking about Amalek and Amalek's land and Amalek citizens, right? Genesis 16, right? And really, it's the Lord's land. Amalek's just there right now, but the Lord is gonna come and touch that place. Genesis 16, as well as America the Great, Babylon the Great. Genesis 16, we'll read from 8. Genesis 16, verse 8, the point's in 12. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence comest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord Yahweh said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord Yahweh said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude, right? Ishmael, right? Who are the Arabs, Saudi Arabians, Iranians, this Hamas group, right? And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord Yahweh hath heard thy affliction. Here's the point. And he will be a wild man, right? Let's look at this word wild, right? One of his attributes. Right now he's wilding, yo. He's wilding. All the footage coming out. He's wilding. Wild. Strong's H6501.
Strong's H6501. Perre. Perre. Second entry. Perre. Perre.
It says here wild ass. It says here in the Strong's from H6500 in the secondary sense of running wild. The onager, wild ass. Let's look at the root. The root says bear fruit and be fruitful. Right, so he's wild. Right? Running wild. Right? He's only going to get wilder. Genesis 16 verse 12. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. Right? Out there in the Middle East. Right? Lebanon, Saudi Arabia. Those are all his brethren. Iraq, Iran. Right? And Amalek's going to, listen, Amalek's going to strike back. Amalek's going to pound the place with missiles. Right? What's this going to lead into? It's going to escalate eventually, leading into World War III. Because the Lord said he'll gather all nations in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Right? Yahweh Shaphat, the Lord's judgment. Right? That's in Joel chapter 3, verse 2. Matter of fact, let's get it. All wars are bankers' wars, man. Joel 3 verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel. Right? You look at this word plead, it means judge. Right? Not beg, judge. Right? So all troops are going to end up in the Middle East, the valley of decision, the valley of the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the fertile crescent. And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and part of my land. Right? So the Israelites are corners of the earth. Right? And they're not dwelling in their land, the Israelites. Who's in the land? Strangers. Aliens. Let's get that real quick. Right? They've parted the land. Lamentations 5 verse 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens, right? Right up until Yahweh Shai return. Right? You have to remember, Amalek rolled up. There's many nations in this region, this volatile region. Ishmael is there, Amalek is there. You have to remember when they rolled up in a thing, under a thing called the Balfour Declaration. Look it up. In 1948. Right? And the state of Israel was formed. Okay? And they say that's a fulfillment of Isaiah chapter 2. But that scripture says they will learn war no more. Let's get that. Isaiah 2. Isaiah 2 verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord Yahweh's house, the mountain, the government, the 144, shall be established in the top of the mountains, right above all governments, above all nations, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. Right, so Yasharallah will be at the top, under Yahweh Shai, and all nations shall be under Yasharallah. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law. Right. So when this is when this is fulfilled, the whole world will be under the law of the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right. And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Right. That region will be in peace. Jeremiah 30, verse 10. Jeremiah 30, verse 10. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh, neither be dismayed, O Israel. Right? Israel being a people for its place. You so-called indigenous, you so-called Latino, you so-called Negro. For lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest. Return where? To the land, beginning with the elect. And be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. Right? None shall make him afraid. Ishmael ain't going to be able to rise up and put his foot on Yasharalah's neck. No other nation. Second Esdras. Let's close. (15) verse 27. And it reads, For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For power shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, of horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. Wherefore the nations of the dragons of Arabia, right, that's Ishmael, the dragons of Arabia, shall come out with many chariots, right, military might, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, right, the Carmanians are Iran, and who backs this group here that we see on loop? Iran backs them, right? The wild man. Also the Carmanians, Iran, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, right? Iran backs this group that you see here. Iran's going to join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons, right, Ishmael, have the upper hand, remembering their nature. Right? We read the opening scripture. His nature is that he's a wild man. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. Right? And listen, the scripture said the least of the flock. Let's get that real quick. Let's close with that. Jeremiah 49 verse 20. And the least of the flock is Amalek. Right? Right? The JOOs. Jeremiah 49 verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Edom, the Edomites, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Teman is a house the scientists, the physicists, the nuclear physicists who are today's Germans. They are the smarts. They are the brains of the house of Esau. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock is Amalek. Right? Them Khazarians. Right? Draw them out. Draw America into war. Pull America into a beef. Right? Their leader said he this morning news alert went out saying they've invoked Article 40 Aleph of their constitution, which 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 states that they will, anywhere they deem a threat, they will dispatch, they will mobilize military to any region in the world that they deem a threat, right? So all this is the fulfillment of prophecy, which will lead up into World War III, right? Jacob's trouble will come first. The CBDC will come first, which will lead into the grain of rice to Revelation 13, verse 16 on down, right? The MOTB, right? Those two things will come before World War III. But all this is a build-up, right? All this is a build-up. So with that, stay prayed up, pray without ceasing. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, the teacher, and rule, that taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect.